Well, ladies and gents, welcome back, you lovely faces. So, digital IDs. Here in the UK, our current government, Labour, they want to introduce digital IDs. And they're going on saying it's going to be the best thing if you want to buy a house, if you want to get a job, if you want to open a bank account. All the stuff that you normally have on you anyway. So, obviously, driver's license, you may have your passport. And since everything now is on your phone, you can pull up a utility bill straight away. Here we go. This proves I live here, here, and here. This is all the stuff you need. But they keep going on saying that this digital ID is going to be the best thing. Well, no, it's not. So this by here is an article on the Times, and I will leave the link for this one by here because this is on the archive.ph website. Digital IDs dead in the water in 6 months as opposition mounts. And the funny thing about this is from Peter Hyman, who is Keir Starmer's advisor. Well, he actually used to be one of his personal advisors. And now he has told the Labour Party conference the party has failed to challenge conspiracy theories. So with that whole part by there regarding conspiracy theories, Labour have actually gone out, and so is the opposing government, bloody Tories. They've gone out and said that, it's not combating online misinformation, this Online Safety Act. Well, the Online Safety Act is for the kids, isn't it? That's what they've said about it. We're doing it for the kids. We don't want kids to see this. We don't want kids to see that. Kids should not be able to see this type of content on Instagram, on any type of social media. So when you start putting in other things like, this is false information, or whatever they deem to be misinformation. Hell, the BBC, when the Online Safety Act did an investigation into it, they found that any news article regarding the war in Ukraine, the war with Palestine, Hamas, and all these other things, they were all blocked behind the Online Safety Act. So even if you wanted to see a genuine news article, you couldn't, because it was behind the Online Safety Act. And then you would have to input your age, but just for them to say, we trust you, it's like, no, we want your bank details. We want your passport. We want your driver's license. Hell, why don't you just give us every single thing that you got so we can keep all the info on you? That's what that was. And seeing now that Peter Hyman, who was Keir Starmer's aide or whatever advisor, with him saying this as well, it's true. It's not going to last. So plans for mandatory digital IDs will be dead in the water in 6 months in the face of mounting opposition to the plans. Sir Keir Starmer has been warned. Labour has failed to challenge conspiracy theories or to convince millions of people that the requirement for all workers to have cards will curb illegal migration, Peter Hyman has said. If you're an illegal in any country, you're not going to have anything to go and be like, I got a digital ID. I got all these details. Give me a job. A lot of them do cash in hand. A lot of them get paid cash in hand. You've even got people who are stating as well, which is rightfully true, this is not going to curb the illegal migration. It's not. I think they just said that to get the UK to be like, because the UK is up in arms at the moment about all the illegals coming across on the boats, and a lot of them are liars because they said they're teenagers, but they've turned out to be in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Hell, you even had I think it was a mid-20-year-old who said he was 15. They put him in school and he attacked someone. Sadly, the horrible way. Yes. But when they found out his age, we didn't know. Digital ID is not going to prevent that, is it? It's absolutely just ludicrous. But it does go on to say that Hyman, who advised Starmer for 2 years in opposition, said he had invented the modern-day system of government communications known as the grid, which involves the strategic planning of big announcements in Tony Blair's number 10. At the Labour Party conference on Monday, Hyman said that although a significant policy had been unveiled on the eve of the party's annual gathering, no one's going out there to explain it. Opponents of the plans were motoring ahead, he said, About 2.3 million people have signed a petition against them. At this rate, ID cards will be dead in the water in 6 months' time. Yeah, so with that there, 2.3, we actually got the update. It's now 2.6 and it's climbing. It's literally climbing every single time we go off the page and if you go back on it. Because people do not want this. I will leave the link below for you to sign the petition. And it's absolutely insane. You need to sign it. You really do. But seeing all of this and seeing how you've got the advisors towards Tony Blair, who was the advisor, for Keir Starmer and everything else. They're the ones who are like, right, okay, we need to listen to this. This is not going to go well, and it's not. When you currently have 2.8 million people sign in, sorry, 2.6, isn't it? Well, yeah, so it keeps going up. 2.6, call it 2.7 because it's over the 500 one. It's not going to work out well for Labour. It's really not. Starmer announced on Friday that digital IDs would be compulsory for all workers by the end of the Parliament, saying that they would help to prevent small boat arrivals from working illegally. No, it's not. However, the plan has been opposed by Reform and the Tory party has called it a gimmick. It is. I 100% think this is a gimmick. And I voted Labour. And all of this going on now, like I say, I've spoken with my father and everything else. I don't normally get political on this channel, but when your freedom and not being censored comes into it, all bets are off. Me and my father, we talked about this at length, and we're both thinking we're going to do reform in the next election. It's so sad to see that a government who was the original plan for Labour was to be the government of the people. Over the last 16, 17 years, they've kind of got rid of that. They really have. Tony Blair, you can say what you want about him, but he got shit done. To be honest with you, David Cameron, he won exactly great, but he got shit done. Margaret Thatcher, she got shit done. Winston Churchill, he got a lot of shit done, But it's sad to see that when a government, well, that's what government's meant to do. Government is meant to help the people, not meant to rule the people. But this is what they're going in, and this digital ID is exactly what it's going to be. But it does go on to say that Hyman, on a balance, he supported digital IDs and he called for Starmer to use social media influencers to nail down all the objections. That could be a good idea. Raised by critics to ally concerns about privacy and cost. No one's going to make the case for ID cards, they're not. Adding that the government was not being proactive about defending such a significant policy decision. The attack was the latest in a string of criticism about Downing Street's media operation after Steph Driver became the third communications director in a year to quit. And there's another thing as well with, I'll just go down to the next part there, is the woman who is now in charge of technology, I can't remember her name, I think it's Liz Kendall. She used to be the person who helped the disabled and mobility and all that kind of stuff here in the UK, and she did a shit job at that. Now they've given her, oh, you're going to be the head of technology. I'm pretty sure I saw something as well where she had trouble working her mobile phone, her iPhone. How can you have someone who cannot work an iPhone be the head of technology for the government? How? It's insane, it really is. But we got by here that Starmer's plans for digital IDs were also criticised by Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Greater Manchester. Asked whether he supported the plans, he said not now, citing the previous Labour government in which he served, including as Health Secretary, having encountered difficulties in pushing similar plans through. I think there's a risk of opportunity cost situation here, where something can consume a huge amount of time and actually doesn't come through. That will be the lesson about the 2005 to 2010 Parliament. It consumed a lot of airtime and it didn't actually materialise. Yeah, that was another thing as well. It's like I said, the last 2 decades, the governments have been absolutely terrible in this country. They really have. Certain things happened, certain things got done. But when you're looking at now to introduce an ID where everyone has got too many things to carry as they are, people have got driver's license, they take their passports, they have, like I said, everything is on your phone now as well. Literally, you do not need an ID, a digital ID. You really don't. But it's just the way that they've come out and said that it's about stopping the immigration coming in. It's about to help people if they want a job, if you want to buy a house, if you want to open up a bank account. You don't need any of this stuff that they're saying, oh, it's all on one thing now. No. Because we talked about this at length in another video, where they're going on saying, oh, everything in one place. At this moment in time, the amount of fake documents that people can buy, and hell, if they're good at doing it, they can do it themselves online. And they're like, oh, a digital ID, that's not going to be able to be fake now, is it? Look at the Online Safety Act, if you just go back to that a moment, when you had people when they're like, oh, we need a face scan. Sorry, I'm not going to show you or my face or give you a photo of my face if I want to play a rated 18 video game. So what were people doing? They were taking their cameras and they were uploading things regarding Dave Bautista. You also had, I think it was the guy who plays Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus from Death Stranding 2. They've been using video game characters, well, recent ones. And funnily enough, we also showed you that Keir Starmer's face was being used a lot as well, which I don't think they really realised what's going to happen with all of this. We keep going on about that these people in government, they think they're clever. Oh, we can do this. We'll introduce this. There's always someone smarter than the last person. Always is. And with them thinking, oh, we could do this. We could put this digital ID. It's going to stop immigration coming over. All the illegals. If people are good at something, they're not going to do it for free. They're just not. If they can make money by faking documents, being a forger, they're going to do digital IDs and guarantee if they do come into play, these IDs, within 2 months, maybe even less, you're going to have people selling fake ones and they are going to be undistinguishable from the real ones. That's what's going to happen. And the government are not ready for it. They really aren't. Let us know what you think about this down below, folks. If you are new to the channel, like and subscribe. My name is Dan, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.